Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Meet Your Master of D&D. Today is actually a special episode. We're actually going to focus on the GM's aspect of not always being Dungeons and Dragons, but the other tabletops out there that have really good masters that invent a world that you can go into and actually have fun. So I have Phil with me, who is how long you been doing this again?
Since 1987, so 30 years.
30 years. I actually had another person who's been doing it for 30 years, Jason. He was doing dungeon mastery and storytelling, all that fun stuff. So he's been doing it for like 30 years too. So it's really neat to see already two different sides of it. So what got you into the aspect of gaming with like a dungeon master or a game master? What got you into it?
Actually, unlike most, I did not start with Dungeons and Dragons. I started with Marvel superheroes. I had a friend who took me to the local gaming club. He was very, tentative about the whole thing because not a lot of people playing games back then. So when we played, I really didn't like it because the guy was railroading us. It was just like, okay, you're doing this and you're doing this. But there was something about it that grabbed me. It's like, you can actually create a story, except for what this guy was doing. And I wanted to try it again, but away from the game club. And so we went back to his place eventually and started doing Marvel. And because I grew up with sci-fi and superheroes, thanks to my mother,
Always
I was
good.
more a fan than of the swords and sorcery.
All right. So
So basically,
yeah, go ahead.
to the game club introduced me.
Awesome. So you've been hooked ever since. I take it. Then the whole. So I take it you're more of a, are you now okay? Here, this is a real question. Are you more of a Marvel fan or a DC?
Marvel.
Okay. So the interview's over. No, I'm joking. Nah, it's totally cool. That's the one thing cool about the community out there is even if you don't like the same thing, a lot of the things are the same aspect with games and movies. Now you got some fanboys left and right, like for Xbox and PlayStation, for Marvel, for DC, and then you have those weird people on Wii U, which understandably is just strange sometimes.
Yes, I.
But back to the thing. So are you doing any campaigns right now with your GM?
have a Marvel campaign and a Cyberpunk campaign.
Cyberpunk.
Cyber,
What system are you using for that?
the original Cyberpunk system created by our Talosorian Games.
Is that a D20 or 10 roll or D6s?
That is that is 10 roll.
Okay, D10s.
You've not heard of Cyberpunk, I take it.
I haven't got a chance to get into it. I've been kind of like in 3.5 and 5th edition of D&D for right now, but
Okay.
I've looked into them, but not as much as I really want to.
Okay. Yeah, well, it's like I said, created by our Talosorian Games, the same people who made Mechton and what was one other thing? I think Castle Falkenstein, and it's if you know the works of William Gibson and Bruce Sterling, the dark future, kind of dystopian future, those are the guys who created it, and Cyberpunk is a game based on that.
Okay.
Taking over the world. You are eking out an existence the best way you can. Technology is skyrocketed, with, the corporations now in control of everything. They just flood the market with different technologies so you can have cyber arms or cyber eyes and any number of different augmentations that, allow you to survive in the dark future world.
So kind of what we're going to right now.
Hmm?
We're getting close there. I mean, they have photos so you can put in your eyes now. So, or cameras you can put in your eyes to
Yeah,
record video.
we're getting close. I mean, we're not 2020 yet, but we're getting close.
Oh, I know. It's strange when we get to 2020. Everyone's gonna be like, "So where's my? I want my arm to be like prosthetic, and I want to be able to shoot a rocket out of it." Not gonna happen, but good shot. But now 2020 would be.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that day, just like when the Jetsons were in like 2000. You're like, "Oh, where's my flying car?" And no one saw that thing.
Exactly.
But there's more general questions. So how do you handle conflicts inside your parties? Like when you're doing your games, how do you like stop like some people from getting a little too more uh, aggressively invested, I would say.
Generally, if somebody's getting too aggressively invested, I generally put them in a situation where, like, okay, I could either worry about my teammate here or that big scary cyborg over there who wants to throw a car at me. Give them something bigger to worry about.
Okay, yeah. So that's actually really good because you gotta team cooperatives is probably the best way to handle any kind of move with anybody being uh, more.
I mean, role playing, conflict resolution and cooperative storytelling.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the heart of any good story is conflict, whether it be, hey, who ate my ego, or which guy stole the princess. It's always going to be about some sort of conflict or misunderstanding.
Please tell me that was one of your
And you have,
conflicts. Who stole my ego? Because I would really like to see how that played out. I'm not even joking. Like, if you ever have a conflict and you just have like an ego missing, I want to see what a player would do. That'd be awesome. Because that's a Lego my ego moment, man.
exactly.
So back to the whole RP part of it. So do you mostly want your players to be more in character most of the time, or how do you get a player who's not big in the RP actually start doing more of the RP?
Well, generally, if I have somebody who's not doing the RP, it's only for one game, because at the end of the game, I give out, experience points for different things, mostly use of skills and clever use of skills, but I also give out bonuses for good RP. And those people who see that, hey, this guy just got a buttload more RP than I did because he did this, it's the carrot and stick, kind of thing. You dangle a carrot in front of them and they'll chase it.
Oh, I know the carrot very well. I've been playing D&D, and my when I was playing as a player, the dungeon master would love to hang the carrots out for me, especially with treasure, and I'd go for it. End up getting swallowed by a cloaker and beaten by my own team, which was stupid on my part, but I was totally wanting that treasure. And I got friends out
Yeah,
of it.
well, this is more positive motivation, we'll say.
Yeah, it's about the same. I mean, don't do this, do this. Always a carrot.
Yep, there you go.
So, do you have any like other hobbies or gaming interests that really get part of your making your world for your games, like literature and stuff like that?
Used to collect comics, so that helped bolster my uh, Marvel game, and sci-fi has always been a favorite of mine. So movies like Blade Runner, Terminator, RoboCop, Strange Days, it's all got something I can pick and choose what I like and bring it into my universe.
All right, yeah. So like right now, like what's like your main focus, like story wise? Like, have you read something just recently? You're like, oh, this is gonna be a great story for a game I want to run or anything like that.
Uh, Nothing recently. The one my my campaign that I concluded with Cyberpunk dealt with what they call a brain dance, which is kind of like an augmented reality. You plug into somebody else's memories. You can download somebody else's memories into your head and live their life experience, whether it be, hey, I'm gonna be an MMA fighter for an afternoon, or I just want to go running on the beach. And you can do that with the brain dance. But the main focus of the campaign was someone was using it to try to manipulate people, i.e. take them over.
Oh, that sounds
And
awesome.
the party had one of the NPCs who got taken over, and hey, why aren't you anymore? Well, what was the common denominator? Well, he did a lot of brain dance. Let's find out where that leads us. And through investigation and a few scuffles, and they got to the culprit.
Oh, nice. So so I know in like for D&D, a lot of times it's like you start a story here and you keep going until your players hit a certain max. Now, are your the steampunk or the cyberpunk games? Are they mainly
Hmm.
you start here and you finish here, and then next week we're gonna have to start here and we're gonna go here, or is it a continuous campaign?
Oh, you can do a continuous campaign. It's set up for that. But over the last 30 years, I've started in so many, not just running, but actually playing in so many campaigns that never finished. I began about a year and a half ago to encapsulate my games. 4 to 5, 3-hour sessions that encompass an entire story arc. And that was it. Boom, in the shell, on the shelf. I leave threads in there that they can follow if they want to do something later related to it, but I encapsulate now my story arcs, so I don't have to worry about a game fizzling out, 9 months down the road when everybody's like busy or have children or things like that.
So a lot of one shots, a good amount of hey, we're gonna do this to
Um,
this
mini series. I would call it a mini series.
miniseries. Well, 5 hours,
Yeah,
yeah,
'cause like I
that's
said,
about a miniseries.
yeah, like I said, about 5 episodes, 3 hours each, maybe four, depending on how enthusiastic they are.
Yeah.
And like I said, once that 5 part is complete, that's that arc. That's that adventure. Move on to the next one.
Now, will they use the same?
I've actually,
Will they use the same
oh yeah,
characters?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you would still have the same characters, but just different like stories for each episode.
See, because I like to run my games like this. Instead of like your life being a series of adventures, your character, I mean, who is in fictionality, of course, a person has a life. So I have a character who has a life, but adventures happen in that life instead of adventures being the life. I actually had a debate with a young man once who was very adamant that cyberpunk is just about combat, combat, combat. But there are other skills in the game. No, but there's combat skills in the game too. It's like, yeah, they kind of go hand in hand. They don't. There's not one without the other. So why bother having a character who has zoology or biology or stock market and not use it at some point? And you're not going to use that in the combat.
Yeah, I mean that's the aspect of doing a full round character. You can do combat. You can just play, basically roll some dice. Or gonna hit some things, and but really what makes the game fun for like gets you into it is going into the world and interacting with characters and trying to figure out what's going on and being like, oh well, I never do that, and this was cool, and I can't believe we could do that, that kind of stuff. Which a lot of people don't realize it's probably one of the funnest things about playing board tabletop and board games for a lot of people is just being able to be someone else for a little bit and play something else.
Right, exactly. I like to build a world and invite my friends into it. And hopefully they enjoy playing it as much as I enjoy creating it.
Yeah.
There's a little ego involved in being a game master, I gotta admit.
Oh God, yeah. And Dungeon Master as well. Trust me, it's a full round circle. It's basically, I'm gonna make this world, and you're gonna love it. And if you don't, well, your character might not survive it. For the most part, I mean, I'm
Actually,
just speculating.
I've only ever killed a couple of characters, and both because they were stupid. Um, Example one, I had the NPC bad guy who was supposed to rough up an NPC good guy and then run away. This was a full Borg conversion. It was a person who had their entire body replaced except for the vital things that keep them alive. And they had what was called a power sword, which is like a crystalline sword that vibrates at a high rate of speed and cut through just about anything.
Uh-huh.
So, the NPC bad guy is roughing up the good guy and is about to run off. Well, here comes my hero who decides, hey, I'm going to shoot this thing with my rifle. Messed up its skin cover. It got pissed off, took the power sword and cut him in half.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
God,
Like,
that's
oh, I did not mean that to happen, but once the characters do something, I'm not going to say no, you can't do that. I mean, you have free will to do what you want, but shooting at somebody who's not exactly human and can cut you in half is probably a bad idea.
well, he'll learn this time.
Uh, oh yeah, yeah, lesson learned. Second example was character had a briefcase with this thing that the corporation wanted. He was being very defiant. He had been caught in the basement of one of the local companies. They have this thing, which is basically a rail gun on wheels. It's a whole security team at one end of the hallway. He's at the other end. It's like reinforced hallway, concrete bunker sides. Give us the briefcase. No, give us the briefcase. He opens up the case, takes a whiz in it, shuts it again. Okay, and I'm, as a good game master, giving him so many opportunities. Okay, they're going to shoot this thing. Oh, I have this armor and this armor. This is a rail gun. You have no armor. Even though he had armor, he has no armor.
Oh yeah, rogue games just go right through anything. Everyone knows that.
So I counted down from 5, trying to be very threatening, and he was very defiant. And then when they hit 5, he was a pink mist.
Oh god, that's awesome so much. That's like perfect.
Being a good game master, I'm not a killing game master.
Oh yeah.
I'll give characters a, you really want to do this.
Oh yeah. It's sometimes you have to be as big. You are you sure? 100%. Come on, don't be stupid. And just like we will shoot. This is not a drill. We will blow you up. Nope. All right. Oh, pee in the butt. Okay, here we go. Beep.
Precisely. It's different. I say, okay, I've got this zip gun and I'm going to shoot you. And I know your armor is going to absorb it, but I'm going to shoot you a lot. So maybe it might hurt you, but rail gun.
Yeah. So. That's just, that's a little bit of overkill, but you know what? I commend his integrity for just staying there going, nope, not going to happen. Yep. I'm undefeatable. You can't hurt me. Hold on. You still want it? Huh? Wow.
That's kind of how
I've had friends like that when I played with D&D with who did stuff like that, which is really funny to do. Especially when the DM was like, all right, well, time to die. So...
there's not
okay.
difference. You either say Cyberpunk or D&D. I mean, the mechanics are different, but you're going to be faced with conflicts and how to resolve those conflicts.
Yeah. The only really the only difference between the systems is the dice. In the rules, of course. I mean, that's a big thing. But
yeah,
they have a key thing important about themselves is they're both role-playing games.
Correct. ROLE, not ROO, not ROLL. Because we do have players who just love rolling dice, and that's all they want to do is roll dice and do damage. And I have a character with stats and skills, but I want to roll dice.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because it's about being someone else, and the dice are just there to help you with your slashing, kicking, and basically trying to check for stuff. But it allows you to give that randomness of the role-playing character, so you can't go, well, metagaming, which leads us into the next question. Metagaming, how do you stop it at your tables? Like, how do you grab someone from metagaming going, no?
Actually, that's a term I only heard since joining the group, because we just call it using player knowledge.
Okay, using player knowledge.
We didn't have clever terms for things. We just called it what it was.
Yeah.
Hey, stop doing that. I know it's kind of unglamorous, but yeah.
Oh no, it's exactly what it is. It's just people using what they shouldn't know.
Right. So that's basically kind of a finger wag, and I kind of let it go unless they do it again, but seldom do they do it because most of them are old gamers like me.
Okay. So around 20 or 30 years of experience playing.
Yeah, around years, yeah. Not this. I mean, for the most part, the same group. It's maybe about 4 or 5 of us, depending on who can come in and go. But every once in a while, we add new flavor or a new person just to break up the monotony and also to grow. I mean, you play with the same people over 20 years, you get into a rut, and okay, Ray's gonna play this or Doug's gonna play this, even if it's just a variation of that same thing. Hey, he's gonna play the big strong guy who's the strong silent type, or he's gonna play the clever guy who's quirky and unusual. That's what they do. So every once in a while. Like with my Marvel game, I've added two new people who've never played Marvel. One guy who's never played a tabletop RPG. So that's a great learning tool for me.
Oh, that's awesome. So let's get nitty gritty. If there's advice you give a new game master, someone just started now who picked up let's say uh, the Marvel, so to say, the
Hmm.
Marvel RP role playing game. What would be your new
Hmm.
advice to them to get them started on being uh, to basically being a good or even great DM or GM down the road?
Uh, be aware that the plan that you make is not the plan that the character is going to follow. So you have to be flexible. And not only that, something that my old mentor told me, and it's great, it works for any system, any game, whatever. You have a party going down the road. The big adventure is on the left fork, but they go down the right fork. Some GMs or DMs will be stymied, stuck where, okay, what do I do? I mean, all my stuff is supposed to be over here in this town over here, and it's very simple. You just pick up the adventure and put it over there. No matter which way the characters go, you just drop it right in front of them. So yes, they have free will. They can go down to any road they want, but every road will lead to your adventure.
Which is always the best part about doing role playing stuff. You don't have like everything already stepped out on a map saying, "All right, you have to go here." Well, we're gonna go over here. No, but you
Mm-hmm.
want to go here. No, we want to go here, but it's
Mm-hmm.
here. But I want to go here. I'm telling you, if you don't go here, things will happen. Well, let's find out. We're going here. Son of a bitch. And then you
Yep, yep.
just
You,
go. Bloop.
I can, I can tell you've experienced that. Then, yep, yep. You, no matter which way they go, they have free will to go whichever way they want, but you're always going to run into my adventure.
Of course, that's the only best way to put
And
it.
also, if the characters come up with a clever idea, please go with it. I mean, they think you're being brilliant. Case in point, I had a Marvel game. I said it kind of like a mystic kind of Marvel, kind of
Mm-hmm.
like a Doctor Strange. Um, Big weird magical event happened, and the characters were being collected by a woman. She was just going to be an ordinary sorcerer. But one of my characters said, "Oh, she must be the sorcerer supreme of Earth." But okay, now she's the sorcerer supreme of Earth. I had no intention of having her be that, but sure, we'll go with that. And that idea led me to other ideas.
Yeah.
Just because, okay, she went from an ordinary, trickster to, you know, you know, a big, big bad good guy or a big good guy.
You're a good guy, bad man.
That's something that I thought of. Because remember, the players don't know if you're one step ahead of them, 1,000 steps ahead of them. That's all they know is you're ahead of them.
Or you can be
So
5 steps
always be
behind them, trying to
confident.
figure out why they just did what they did, and come back to the same story with like, okay, I'm gonna do this hop over you, and now you put me behind you again, you dicks. So,
So yeah, always
go
flexible.
ahead.
No, so always be flexible. Um, Always show confidence because if you present an idea and you're kind of wavering with it, some players might want to take advantage of that. Oh, you're not quite solid in this idea, are you? Well, since you're going to do this, I'm going to scamper over here, and so players can smell blood and
Oh,
fear.
they can every day. So when you do a lot of your games, are you like a weekly thing? Are you a monthly, bi-weekly?
Weekly. Yeah, if it was monthly, I'd lose interest and do something else.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it has to. Yeah.
So you have a new adventure every week.
A new part of the adventure. Yes.
Okay.
Like I said, I mean, one shots are rare, and like I said, what I would typically do right now, my Marvel campaign has run on a whole lot longer than I expected because characters keep coming up with new ideas for me to build on. But typically, like I said, I will do a 4 to 5 part mini series, which encapsulates an entire mini arc, leaving threads here and there that if they want to choose to come back to something they saw or did, I can build on that, but they don't have to.
Oh, that's awesome. So when you play Marvel, when you're doing the Marvel, because I've never played it, I'm not gonna lie, I have never touched it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably gonna read up on it after this because honestly, it sounds really cool and be kind of fun to look at. But
Mm-hmm.
how do you get like the characters they make? Are they original characters? Or you like?
Characters, always original characters.
But do you have like do you bring in other Marvel characters into your story?
No, actually, I've built my own universe using the Marvel system, and I'll take elements from Marvel because, of course, Marvel's been around forever, and it'd be kind of foolish not to, borrow. But I've created my own universe where the player characters are the premier super team. So when something happens, you're not going to call the Avengers or the Fantastic Four. You are the go-to guys when fit hits the shan.
Oh yeah,
So that sense of specialness. So I created my own universe so the characters can have that that spotlight.
that's awesome. So it's which is kind of interesting because a lot of the people who do the Marvel universe, I would think, would go ahead and just use like would have like Captain Marvel or uh, well, that's actually I don't know, no Captain Marvel's uh
Yeah,
Marvel.
there's a Captain Marvel and DC.
Yeah, I know that's the strange thing because they were actually at the same time during when DC and Marvel were probably around the same aspect. Captain Marvel
Mm-hmm.
was like, well, we're Captain Marvel on DC, which he was basically, I believe it was Shazam, wasn't it? Captain Marvel
Shazam.
was Shazam, which was unique, and then they it was supposed to be the comparable to Superman because they were trying to make better lines for everything, if I'm not wrong,
Mm-hmm.
which I could be. Usually I'm not, but I am mostly.
The DC. Well, as I am not a DC fan, I can't correct you.
Aha! I got you on this
Or
one. But like the X Men universe is that universe still say part of Marvel? Like the X Men, you got
as far as the movies go, no.
yeah,
Uh,
well, yeah.
but as far as the comic books, yeah, it's still Marvel.
So now I have to ask this question: did you enjoy the Deadpool movie?
I did. I enjoyed it.
All right, you excited for the next one?
Yeah. Um, I'm curious to see where they're taking it. Because he's such an unusual character that okay, who are you going to put him against? Because I haven't collected comics since 2000, and I know they've changed and altered so many characters that I wouldn't be able to follow the comics if I bought them now anyway. But Deadpool is always an original character because of the whole being able to break the fourth wall.
Yeah. Well, actually, the Brian Posehn did a run. I believe he's still doing the run. Maybe I think maybe, but from issue 1 to issue 15 of the new run of Deadpool is incredibly
Mm-hmm.
good. The writing was amazing. It was good artwork. It definitely is something if you're looking to like read a really good Deadpool story because no matter how many stories of Deadpool you read, they're never the right backstory. But that's what makes Deadpool so hilarious because he even refers to the old stories and everything, but he never gives the exact how he became Deadpool. He actually just it's like a flopped around. There's like 4 different ways he actually becomes Deadpool, which is actually hilarious because none of them even seem like they're right. But it's like he's telling the story of how he became Deadpool, and it's like, all right, well that doesn't sound right, and then they switch it up and like, oh, this might be it. Nope, nope, this one's it. But again, you got multiple, the multiverse for Marvel, just like DC, which there's a crap ton of them. But yeah, if you're looking at the new runs of Deadpool are pretty nice to read. They're a lot easier to read than the old ones. A lot more color to them, and they kind of bring out the comedian side of Deadpool more. And they actually show you how he got his
Okay.
orange box and the yellow box and all that other stuff, which is kind of
Mm-hmm.
unique in itself. But um,
Huh, check that out.
now did you now? Okay, so the new trailer of Thor came out.
Yeah, yep. I saw that. I'm totally amazed. It's just like, okay, you've got Hella in here, and she's pretty badass. So it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna. Oh, you threw Mjolnir at me. I'm not impressed.
Oh, dude,
Okay, and that last.
I honestly I love that trailer. I was really excited about it because like, it's the third movie, and it still looks freaking badass.
Yeah, I'm excited because the second one didn't really move me that much, but I'm really looking forward to the third one. You know, I guess it can't all be home runs.
No, no, no. Maybe it's Marvel with Disney, and you know how they like to overspend things sometimes, but it's incredible sometimes. But I like the fact that
Right.
you're gonna see Hulk.
Yeah, and I like that part. Hey, yes, and everybody stops and like, why is he excited about this?
I know him from work. And it looks just like they're gonna have so much fun in that ring. Just like, oh, that's gonna be
But
awesome.
yeah, I created my own universe simply because, like I said, I want them, my players, to be the X Men, the Fantastic Four, whatever the good guys that always ride into the rescue when you're getting your butt kicked.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the best way of putting it because you have the other heroes. You're like, well, they'll just save the day. We'll just sit over here and have a falafel or something. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. You know, they can't rest on their laurels, as it will.
yeah, it's actually really well to put it that way. I mean, it's really good to have your players want to be the center of attention like they should be. All players should be the center of attention of that world. You should never have to bring
Right.
in NPCs to save them unless it's something to like hook them into being even more part of the story. Be like, I saved your life. If you don't help me, I will murder you, and I will take this as an act of aggression and slavery you. I don't know. I mean, that could happen.
And
But
Cyberpunk is pretty easy. Um, Something that you want or need, you have to go out and get it, whether it be food or work or, you know, it's not like in Shadowrun. I don't know if you're familiar with that
I
one.
am familiar. Shadowrun, I do know. I do know Shadowrun. It's the
Uh,
only system I know other than that, the D&D.
that's because it's D&D with delusions of grandeur.
Yeah, this is true.
But, you know, whereas, you know, almost in, I've played about as many Shadowrun games as I did D&D, but it's always some Johnson who comes and hires you and to do this and do that and then tries to screw you